It was a warm afternoon in a small Italian town where the sun bathed the cobblestone streets in golden light. The scent of fresh bread and blooming flowers filled the air as merchants and villagers went about their daily business. In the heart of the town stood a modest but well-respected shop, run by a hardworking businessman named Lorenzo. He was a man of integrity, known for his kindness and determination. But despite his efforts, his business had been struggling. Debts had piled up, and no matter how much he worked, he could not catch up. Lorenzo had borrowed money from a man named Giovanni, a loan shark known for his ruthless ways. Giovanni wasn't just any lender. He was the kind of man who thrived on others' misfortunes. He didn't just want his money back. He wanted power, control. And now Lorenzo was out of time. That afternoon, as the bell above his shop door chimed, Lorenzo looked up and saw the figure he had been dreading. Giovanni stepped inside, his presence like a dark cloud rolling in before a storm. "Lorenzo, my friend," Giovanni said smoothly, though there was no warmth in his voice. "I assume you know why I'm here?" Lorenzo sighed, wiping his hands on his apron. "Giovanni, I need more time. Business has been slow." "Time?" Giovanni interrupted with a chuckle. "Lorenzo, time is money, and you, my friend, are all out of both." Lorenzo's heart pounded. He had seen what happened to those who couldn't repay Giovanni. Some lost their homes, their businesses. Others simply disappeared. Just then, Isabella, Lorenzo's daughter, entered the shop. She was young, beautiful, and full of life, a stark contrast to the old and cruel Giovanni. Her presence made Giovanni's lips curl into a slow smile. And that was when he made his offer. "I have a proposal that will solve everything," Giovanni said, his eyes fixed on Isabella. "I will erase your debt completely if you let me marry your daughter." The words hung in the air like a curse. Lorenzo felt his stomach turn. His daughter? Given away like a payment? "That is not a solution," Lorenzo said, his voice hardening. "That is blackmail." Giovanni smirked. "Call it what you want, but you and I both know you have no other choice." Isabella stepped forward, her dark eyes blazing. "I am not for sale." Giovanni chuckled. "Of course not, my dear. That is why I propose a fair game of chance. Let fate decide." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small leather bag. "I will place 2 pebbles into this bag, 1 black, 1 white. If you pick the black one, you will marry me, and your father's debt will be gone. If you pick the white one, the debt will still be erased, and you remain free." Lorenzo clenched his fists. "This is madness." "No," Giovanni said, smiling. "This is opportunity." The townspeople had started to gather outside the shop, curious about the unfolding drama. Isabella knew that in their world, power belonged to men like Giovanni, men who controlled wealth, who set the rules. But she also knew something else. Just because someone sets the rules doesn't mean you have to play their game. "Fine," Isabella said, her voice steady. "Let's do it." The 3 of them walked out into the garden behind the shop, where the ground was covered in small pebbles of black and white. The townspeople followed, whispering among themselves. Giovanni bent down and picked up 2 pebbles, but Isabella, sharp-eyed and observant, noticed something. A flick of his wrist, a sleight of hand. Both pebbles he had picked up were black. She sucked in a breath. He had rigged the game. No matter which one she picked, she would lose. The crowd watched as Giovanni placed the pebbles into the bag and held it out to her. "Go on, my dear, choose." Isabella's mind raced. 3 choices lay before her. 1, refuse to pick. But then Giovanni would claim her father had broken their deal, and they would lose everything. 2, expose Giovanni's trick, but he was powerful, and the crowd might be too afraid to stand against him. 3, pick a pebble and accept her fate, but that was never going to happen. And that was when an idea struck her. She reached into the bag, grasped a pebble, and just as she pulled it out, she accidentally dropped it onto the pebble-strewn path. "Oh no," she gasped. "How clumsy of me." Giovanni's face darkened. The crowd murmured in confusion. Isabella turned to Giovanni, her eyes wide with innocence. But it's all right, she said. All we have to do is look at the pebble left in the bag. That will tell us which one I picked. The people turned to Giovanni. His trick had backfired. If he revealed the remaining black pebble, it would mean Isabella had picked the white one, and he would have to honor the deal. If he refused, the crowd would suspect foul play. He was trapped. With a tight smile, he reached into the bag and pulled out the black pebble. Well, well, he said through clenched teeth. It seems fortune favors you, Isabella. Your father's debt is erased. A cheer erupted from the crowd. Isabella had not just won the game. She had outplayed the master. That night, as Isabella and her father sat by the fireplace, Lorenzo took his daughter's hands in his. You saved me today, he said. She smiled. I only did what had to be done. No, Isabella, he said. You did more than that. You saw a way out when none seemed to exist. That is something rare, something powerful. Isabella thought about what had happened. Most people, when faced with difficult choices, believe they must pick from the options given to them. They see their situation as black and white. But the real power lies in seeing beyond those options. There is always a pebble you can drop. In life, we are often presented with choices that seem unfair, limiting, or impossible. We feel stuck between bad and worse, believing that no matter what we choose, we will lose. But what if the real problem isn't the situation itself, but the way we are thinking about it? Isabella's story is a perfect example of this. And when you start thinking like that, not just in this moment, but in life, you stop being the victim of the game. You become the master of it.